Hi, my name is Kehinde, and welcome to this new series on web app development with React. In this course, I'm going to show you how to build a real-world application using ReactJS. We're going to build a dictionary or word lookup application. We'll touch on fundamental React concepts like hooks, state management, components, styling. Even beyond that, we'll touch on how to plan your application and set yourself for success. So by the end of this tutorial, you will have a solid grasp of how to build a web application that interacts with an external API to fetch and render content. So whether you're new to React or experienced, this tutorial will provide you a ton of value. I want to build a word lookup application or a mini dictionary. We're going to be able to enter a word of our choice and get the meaning of that word. We're going to have the part of speech and the different meaning in that part of speech, right? And a word can actually have multiple parts of speech, which we're going to render all of them. We're going to also be able to clear out the search entry. So if you're excited, let's dive right into it. Before jumping into writing code, it always helps to plan. So anytime you're developing an application, the first step is to design or plan. I promise this saves a lot of time on the long run. So you want to have at least an idea of what the end goal is and the journey to get there. Here are some things or questions you want to know before writing code. What is the high level of architecture of the solution? What would the app look like? This could be a quick mockup or a wireframe. Do you need to build a backend layer? Or would you be integrating with a third-party API? Would you need to persist any data to a database? What are different technologies or tools you'll be using for your application? And how will they interact? So let's answer these questions for the app we'll be building. We won't be building a backend API because I want to keep the course simple, and because there is an API I can use that provides me what I want. So we're going to use an external API to look up words. I've made the research and found some. So we have the dictionary API.dev, we have the words API, and we have API ninjas. So we're going to use one of these, and we're not going to need a database. The flow of the word app looks like this. A user will load up the React application on the browser, will render the interface, the UI. When they enter a word and search, we're going to call an API that will give the content which will render on the page for the user. So it's a simple architecture. Now let's look at what the mockup look like. Here is the mockup of the app we're trying to build. For technology choices, of course, we're going to be using React. And we're going to style our app using tailwindcss. So now, with all the foundations squared out, let's move on to the implementation. Here are the tasks we'll need to do. We're going to need to set up our project. We're going to need to develop the user interface in React and style with Tailwind CSS. We'll handle inputs, and we're going to fetch data from an external API, and then we're going to render our app content with data from our API. Let's proceed to setting up our project in the next lesson.